Hello and welcome to Home with Sarah Jane. Today's video is a video I don't want to film. And it's not that I don't feel like filming the video, it's more that I don't want to have to follow through with what I'm going to be saying in this video. But today's video is about our no spend month for the month of February. So if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Sarah and I'm a homeschooling mom to two girls, ages 10 and 14. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by once again. I do really appreciate you. So today I just kind of wanted to talk about our no spend month and kind of the rules that I put in place for myself, and also why I'm doing this and how I prepped for this. So I guess what we can do is talk about how I prepped for this no spend month first. That makes the most sense, I guess. And let me just say that the holidays, kind of made me scrambled. I feel like I let a lot of things go during the holiday season, which I'm sure a lot of us do, but I got kind of lazy even after the holidays. And I found that we were spending more time eating out. I noticed that I was spending money more on luxury opposed to actually like necessity. And I really feel like we need this reset. I do really feel like we need a financial and household reset. And I think that this no spend month is the perfect way to do that, even though I don't want to. So, there's my little, I guess, rant on that. But to prep for this no spend month in February, I do want to let you all know that my husband is 100% on board with this. So he is going to be my rock that I'm leaning on to make sure that I don't stray back into bad spending habits. Making sure that, you know, he kind of helps me keep myself accountable. Because my weakness is coffee. I love to just go out and get a nice flavored coffee. I love peppermint mocha. I want a caramel macchiato like currently right now. And I'm finding that I'm spending way too much money on things like that. And my husband will help me kind of find other ways, like to try and make them at home and stuff like that. So he's on board. He's not going to be buying any coffee when he's at work. He's not going to be buying snacks anymore out. Those snacks will have to come from home. His lunches are going to be coming from home. So all of those types of things, we're not going to be spending any money on any of that. So with him on board, it just makes it easier. So the way that I was holding my notes and they were upside down, that's not helpful. Here we go. So for prepping for this, my husband's on board. He, again, something that I really need, because a lot of the time I feel that when I do challenges on my own, I'm really good at making excuses. I'm like, okay, you know what? You weren't ready for this. And that's fine. I know sometimes you're just not, but I'm the type of person that I need, like, sometimes that little nudge in that direction saying, hey, you got this, you know? So my husband's on board. Another way that I prepped for this challenge, for this no spend month, it's almost like a pantry challenge as well. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but we're going to make sure that we eat through a lot of our pantry as well. I prepped by doing my 30-day cleaning challenge in the month of January, which I'm currently still in this challenge. I'm filming this, I don't even know the date. I think it's like the 23rd. I think it's like January 23rd. But I'm still doing that 30-day cleaning challenge. So once that cleaning challenge is over, I'm going straight in to a no spend month. So this challenge though, this 30-day cleaning challenge really helps me to see what I have before I go into my no spend month. So the 30-day cleaning challenge, it made me go through my pantry. It made me see the food that's about to expire. It made me go through my kids' bedroom, see what they had, see what they needed, and see the things that we need to use up before they go bad. So the 30-day cleaning challenge I felt was really important for me, so that I didn't feel like I had to go through everything at the same time that I was not spending money, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't feel like I had to do it all in 1 month. The cleaning challenge was done before, so I already know where I'm at inventory wise, if that makes sense. So that's one way that I prep for this no spend month. And also, I made a list of every single expense that we have, every bill. I made a list of where every single dollar goes, which it wasn't hard for me to see where our money go. I mean, I do keep track of our finances, obviously, but what I mean by this is sometimes when you have subscriptions that are automatic, you can very easily lose track of what you're paying for, and you're paying for subscriptions that you may not even realize that you had. I've already found 2 subscriptions. One was for $1.99 a month, so $1.99, which doesn't seem like a lot. And then there was one for $3.99 a month. But to me, any amount of money that I am spending on something I don't even realize I have that I'm not using is a waste. So I already canceled 2 subscriptions that I found that I wasn't using, and we haven't even gone into our no spend month yet, but this was just the prep for it. So again, I wrote down every bill, every subscription that I found that we were paying for, and I'm going to slowly evaluate each one and make sure that we're using them all. And anything we're not using is getting canceled. I'm going to look for ways to lower our bills and lower our monthly expenses, not just for February, but going forward. So I just like to do this while I'm doing our no spend month because, again, I'm really trying to reset our finances and our household. So that's kind of the prep that I did for this challenge. Now, the rules of this challenge for us. I think that no spend months can be fun. You can make them fun. They could be filled with creativity. They could be filled with so much, and it could teach you a lot of skills that you've maybe wanted to learn for a long time that you just didn't because you didn't have to. Like, I remember one of the times that I did one of these no spend challenges or no spend months, I learned how to make bread. I learned how to make, butter. I learned how to make certain things from scratch, and I continued to use those skills to cut back expenses. And I found that like some of the bread recipes out there are just so good. Like, my family sometimes is like, "Oh, Mom, I don't want store-bought bread. Can't you just make bread?" So I mean, we found some really great recipes when I've done this before, and I'm really looking forward to that part of this challenge. And I think that that's one of the things that I look forward to the most is what skill am I going to learn during this challenge? And I know I will. I know there will be a new skill, and I'd be happy to share if you're interested in the skills that I learn at the end of this challenge. So, no pleasure or luxury buying. That's obviously a rule. We will not be buying anything that we don't need. But I think the hardest part, what was that? Sorry, I have I have people outside this door. My kids are playing Monopoly. I think the hardest part of this challenge for me, though, it's not even about giving up my fancy luxury coffee drinks is going to be challenging, but I know with just a cup of coffee I make here, I'll still get the caffeine that I feel that I need. But I think the hardest part of this challenge for me is going to be not spending money in my homeschool. And it's not like I go crazy all the time with buying all of these homeschool supplies and things like that, but no, we're not spending any money in our homeschool. We are going to use what we have. This is also a really great opportunity to use up items that maybe I purchased for our homeschool that we didn't use when I thought we were going to. And now it gives us that opportunity to go back and look at these items or these subscription boxes or, these arts and crafts or these books and actually use them. I've already spent money on them. Why not use them? So again, this is another way that we can not waste money, and it's by using what I already spent money on. So when I film I'm like stuttering, sorry. When I film my February morning basket, you're going to notice that it might be a little bit lighter than what you would see in like one of my traditional morning baskets. And that's because I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying anything for February's morning basket. It has to come out of my library. It has to come out of what we already have. I do have a theme that my children chose, and I do like the theme for February, but the books that I'm going to be using, the crafts that I'm going to be using, all of that is going to be coming from what we have. So no spending money in homeschool for the month of February is also one of the rules for us. Now, I know not everybody homeschools, so if you did want to do a challenge like this, obviously, if you don't homeschool, this wouldn't be a rule for you. But that's what's great about setting challenges for yourself is that you can cater to what you feel you need. Like if you spend way too much money on, I don't know, like food, which we do, start with that. Start with, okay, you know, I'm going to cut back on our food bill. It doesn't have to be cut back on everything. Just pick one area, you know, pick one area where you feel you overspend and start with that. For us, we need the whole month of no spending. I went crazy over the holiday season and I really need to buckle down. I need to buckle down. Okay, so another rule is I have to make sure that I'm paying more attention to my winter garden. I kind of fell off the rails a little bit on my garden, which is not something I typically do. I'm actually usually very serious about keeping my garden going and making sure we have a little bit of fresh produce going for us that we don't have to go to the store for. Well, right now I currently have broccoli and lettuce, garlic, onions, shallots, and then some citrus like lemons and stuff like that that I have going in my garden. So I really want to make sure that I'm using up those items that we already currently have. And if I can't use them in time, I need to prep them to be stored, whether I'm pressure canning or whether I'm freezing them, whether I'm dehydrating these items. I just need to make sure that whatever is in my garden that needs to be used is being used as well. And this can also be a really fantastic resource for me if I run out of the next rule, which is our produce and dairy budget for each week of February. So I decided to set a certain dollar amount per week for fresh produce and for our dairy items. So with that being said, I decided to set it at $50 a week, which I know still sounds like a lot because overall that's about $200 a month. But if I'm going from spending like over $1,000 in groceries to $200 a month, I'd say that's a pretty good adjustment. Also, the reason why I chose $50 a month is because when I started looking at the prices of everything, like really kind of starting to prep for this challenge, I noticed the cost of a lot of the items that we buy have gone up significantly. So, and one of those being eggs. I know majority of people probably know about the egg debacle and how much eggs are costing right now, but I remember when I looked up, because normally what I'll do is I'll buy like 5 dozen eggs at a time and just use those eggs for, you know, a long time. But when I looked up the cost of 5 dozen eggs where I live, it was over $30 for 5 dozen eggs. I used to pay $8, $9, $10, you know, for 5 dozen eggs. And now it's $30 for eggs. And again, I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to go on a rant or anything, but that's a huge adjustment. So with that being said, I don't want to be unrealistic with the goal that I set for myself. I don't want to set myself up for failure. So giving me that $50 a week for produce and dairy is, I think, realistic for where I live and for the size family that I have. Also, what cuts into that produce bill is also we have a bearded dragon named Indiana Jones. He's my 10-year-old daughter's pet. He eats fresh produce as well. So I have to make sure that I have enough also for him to have his salad every single day. With that rule being said, I also want to let everybody know that he also eats live insects, which I have to buy weekly. So that's an expense I can't really cut out. So we will be spending money on his food. And also my Great Pyrenees, we just purchased him food not that long ago, but we're going to see how long we can stretch this bag of food for him. Not that we're cutting back his food, but we want to pay attention to about how long it takes for him to eat through the bag of food so that we could better prepare, better plan for him as well. So I was going to try and stockpile a little bit of my dog's food so that we can get through the month of February without even spending money on his food. But the company that makes his food, like the brand of food that he eats, has actually been having a lot of like product and shipping issues. So it's been really hard to find the larger bags of food for our dog. And if you're not familiar with our dog Iro, he's a Great Pyrenees. He weighs over 100 pounds. I can't buy a 5-pound bag of food for him. That's like one day. So it was a little bit challenging to try and get him food. So that is something that we may have to pick up during the month of February, is just food for our dog and food for Indiana Jones, our bearded dragon. So those are the 2 exceptions that I have to spend money, is the dog food and the what's his name? Indiana. Okay. Now, another thing that's in February that I did make sure I made note of is Valentine's Day is in the month of February. I did pre-buy my kids Valentine's Day gifts just to make sure that I wasn't spending this money in February. Also, I made sure to go through my little, I keep like a goodie bag in my closet of things that I may have purchased that I didn't use as gifts or that I found on sale that I could use as gifts later. So I did go through that to make sure that I was using up any of those items in that area, I guess you could say, in my little goodie bag to make sure I use up those items and give them for Valentine's Day if I could. So I did do that as much as I could, and then we just purchased a couple of small things for them, again, ahead of time, not in February. And my husband and I had agreed on not celebrating Valentine's Day this year for us. Now, this isn't a huge change for us. Usually my husband and I will just order some food and watch some movies at home. We've never been huge on Valentine's Day. As a couple, we've always celebrated it more as like a family, if that makes sense. So us not buying food is totally fine with me. We can stay home, watch movies, you know, make something here, and we're totally fine with that. So my husband and I decided to just veto, give up Valentine's Day this year about spending any money for each other and just focus on our girls, which I already took care of those gifts. So now, let's talk about, so those are kind of like the rules. Those were kind of like the rules, like the no spending on luxury, making sure I got everything in order, prepping for this, really using up everything that I need to, and just really know what I have on hand. So that was kind of like what I really need to get through. But let's talk about why I want to do this challenge. Now, again, I kind of mentioned this earlier. I wanted to do this challenge to make sure that we were using up food and items in our home that we were either unaware of or that were going to go bad. And also, I really need this. My spending habits have been getting really bad lately, and I think that this kind of reset of our finances and the way that I've been shopping is going to be really helpful in the future. I will occasionally go through moments of shop, and I'm like, whoa. I need to stop now. So I need to do a challenge like this to calm myself down. So that's another reason why I'm doing this challenge. Also, I kind of just feel like we are getting more wasteful. We're getting more wasteful in the items that we're buying. We're just not paying attention and making good financial choices with some of the items that are coming into our home, or with buying food all the time. And I don't mean like food like for your pantry. I mean like fast food, not fast food, like, you know, pre-made, like going to a restaurant, buying food, eating out. That's what I mean. I feel like we got pretty sloppy with that, and we really need a reset for that. So that's another reason why I wanted to do this. Also, it's going to make room in our pantry to restock it with items that we are more interested in. So some of the items that have been in my pantry have been in there because we just don't want them. This is going to force me to use them, and then I now have room to put in the things that we do want to carry. So that's another reason why I'm doing this. Also, another reason is, like I was kind of mentioning earlier, it's going to give me the opportunity to learn new skills and to learn how to make new recipes and things like that. And that's something that I do really enjoy. I do enjoy learning to make things from scratch. I do enjoy learning items that are going to make me feel a little bit more independent and not so relied on luxury items. So that's another reason why I wanted to do this no spend challenge and pantry challenge month. For today, I just wanted to share that for the month of February, we are going to be going into a no spend month and a pantry challenge. So wish me luck. Let me know if you've ever done something like this. I would love to hear about your experiences with a no spend month, or with any of the challenges that you set for yourself. I would really love to hear about those. Now, I have gone through challenges like this before, but some are good and some are bad. Like some I do really well on and some I don't. I'm really hoping that I can get through this no spend month. Again, all good thoughts, all good vibes coming my way, please. But yeah, so if you have any comments, please leave it in the comment section. Thank you so much for stopping by. You have a great day. Bye.